They put people first, along with Landmark of Taylorville. You always do better with Landmark. I'm here in studio with Food Pantry facilitator Amy Hagan. Great to have you here, Amy.
Thanks, Avery. Good to be back.
Also, I'm here with Central Illinois Food Bank Public Information Officer Tim Krasiniak. It's great to have you here, Tim.
Good morning, Avery. Pleasure to be here.
Great to have you both here. So, Amy, I understand the community has been doing a lot of fundraisers for the Taylorville Food Pantry in the last month or so since we last talked. What are some of the things that the Food Pantry is benefiting from right now?
Yeah, well, I appreciate this opportunity as always, Avery. We have really been the lucky recipient of quite a lot of generosity as of late. Certainly the Kiwanis food drive that is in cooperation with Miller Media Group, it continues. We had a month of giving in May. We will reconvene in July, and then we'll go again in September for the Kiwanis food drive. And I can tell you already, the community response from that has been several £1,000s. So we're very, very fortunate for the response from that. The folks from the U.S. Postal Service just completed their food drive for us. A gentleman by the name of Dave Durbin and his friends and the folks out at the Thunderbird Lounge put together an incredible, mind-blowing campaign for us. The Manners Park Pool has a campaign they're running for us through the summer season. I believe it's on Wednesday nights. You bring a canned good and you get a half price off your admission at the pool. And then Taylorville Community Credit Union is doing their annual Freedom Tree food drive. That's the 8th annual Freedom Tree food drive that they're running for us. So it's amazing because in this business, we talk about the importance of the summer months and how people, they're very strapped. They're trying to feed their kids are out of school. And the community is responding and wanting to be a part of the solution and helping us restock our pantry shelves this time of year, which again is just that we are tremendously benefited by the generosity of this community.
Speaking to specifically the TCCU Freedom Tree Food Drive, what does that mean to the Food Pantry?
What we love about the TCCU Freedom Tree Food Drive is, as mentioned, this is the 8th annual, right? So that's incredible that it's been running successfully for all that many years. But as I told the folks at TCCU, the value of their food drive is the variety upon which we receive from their food drive donation. I mean, when they give to us, we immediately stock that product on our shelves, and the pantry patrons that are in, not long after we've restocked their shelves with those items, they love the variety, something new, something we don't ordinarily have, whether it's some kind of a noodle or some kind of a soup or something like that we don't typically stock at the pantry. They just really like that variety. So it's a lot of fun.
Regionally, Tim, with the Central Illinois Food Bank, I understand many pantries are dealing with higher costs. What can you tell me about that?
Yeah, that's right. Well, Amy touched on it quite a bit that, it's important to keep in mind, our neighbors during the summer months, especially because of that uncertainty that a lot of families are faced with kids being out of school. They don't receive their regular school meals, and thus they have to spend more money on food and stretch their dollars. So, everyone's being impacted by the lingering effects of inflation right now. That includes the Central Illinois Food Bank and our partners like the Taylorville Food Pantry. I mean, it's costing us and our partner agencies about 10% more to purchase food on a daily basis, and that goes for nationwide food costs as well. So, it's just so important to again think of your neighbors during this uncertain time, and especially during the summer months here. So
when someone donates to the Central Illinois Food Bank, take me through that process from the time that you receive that donation, whether it's monetary or food, to how it ends up to places like Taylorville Food Pantry.
Mm-hmm. So when we get food donations in the Central Illinois Food Bank, we have got a large sort room that our core team of volunteers work in every day. So there's always a group of volunteers in there who are sorting through our donations from people in the community as well as our retail partners, which is such a huge part of the amount of food that we're able to distribute. So they go through and check, the quality of the product, make sure nothing's damaged, nothing's expired. And from there, it's shifted over to our warehouse team, who then puts it into our inventory system. Everything is cataloged, inventoried, and then it's made available to our partner agencies like here in Taylorville, who are then sent a daily list of everything that's basically available for purchase in the food bank. And then they can submit their orders. Then we turn it back over to volunteers again who deliver the product, or the agencies can come and pick up the product at the food bank. So it's a great project, and it's always we couldn't do it without the help of our volunteers and our partners all across our 21 counties. So
I understand with monetary donations, and you've said this on the air before, it's quite the impressive ratio. For every dollar, finish that sentence.
It could help us and our partner agencies procure 6 meals. So the impact of every dollar is so huge. 97% of the money that is donated to the Central Illinois Food Bank is used. It turns right back around to purchasing food product and helping our neighbors all across our 21 counties. So the individual impact that people can have is so huge.
Yeah. And I understand too that as the Central Illinois Food Bank, you're able to purchase in bulk to be able to help partner agencies like the Taylorville Food Pantry. Describe that process a little bit, if you will.
Yeah, that's right. So, we receive our food from a variety of different sources. Like I said, one of them being retail donations, which is a big part of that. But we also receive government product, as well as we go out and source and purchase our own food. All of that is made available to our partner agencies, and I think the product, I think it works very, very well. So
okay, and locally, Amy, we're seeing more and more people. I know we've been talking about this for months. It just continues, this trend. It continues. How's that been over the past month or so?
I think I've shared with you before, Avery, and the listening audience, that I work the front desk a lot, and we have a pretty small group of folks that are trained on the intake system. And I'm always humbled by the people that are coming in for the first time, people that are coming in a long time, and when they share their situation. Typically Saturday mornings, believe it or not, are a little bit slower. And we engage in some, pretty heart-to-heart conversations once in a while with folks. They're willing to share their stories. And, just this past Saturday, I was working at the desk, and the woman said, I just got done shopping at a local retailer in town, and I was surprised at how little, how little my dollar stretched, and now I'm here to try to get the rest of what I need to feed my family, feed my household. And so, that's just one of hundreds of stories like that of people that we're serving that are dealing with the same criticality of situation right now. So, there was another woman who came in. She's 74 years old. She's got a granddaughter and 2 great grandchildren living with her. And she hadn't ever been to a food pantry before. And she's at a different situation in their family household finances. And she's like, I need you. I knew you were there. And here I am. And how can you help me? And so she was overwhelmed by the generosity of what she walked out with that day, so much to the point that she said, I'd like to volunteer here. So from that experience, perhaps we got our next best volunteer.
That's what you like to hear. Let me reintroduce you both, and then we'll continue our conversation after a quick break. You just heard from Taylorville Food Pantry facilitator Amy Hagan. Also with her, Public Information Officer Tim Krasinikis with the Central Illinois Food Bank here on the WTIM Morning Show. Your stream brought to you by People's Bank and Trust, where they put people first, and Landmark of Taylorville, where you always do better with Landmark. WTIM. store.
It's finally springtime at Landmark of Taylorville. General Sales Manager Bill Pinkston here. Wanting a new Chevy, Buick, or GMC truck? We're the place to order them. Wanting a pre-owned vehicle? Our family of dealerships have over 400 in stock. So let us find you what you want. And we're still buying your vehicles, whether you buy from us or not. Your automotive destination is Landmark of Taylorville. We appreciate your business. And remember,
you always do better at Landmark. I'm Kim Bourne, CEO of Taylorville Memorial Hospital, and we're hiring experienced nurses to join our great team. Learn more by clicking on our icon at TaylorvilleDailyNews.com.
WTIM, your ag information station, provides over 8 hours a day of agriculture programming on the air, stream live, and in podcast. Find out all the on-air and online platforms you can hear WTIM by going to TaylorvilleDailyNews.com.
Your information station, WTIM.
Welcome back to the WTIM Morning Show. I'm Avery Cooper. Your stream brought to you by People's Bank and Trust, where they put people first, and Landmark of Taylorville, where you always do better with Landmark. I'm here in studio with Taylorville Food Pantry facilitator Amy Hagan and Central Illinois Food Bank Public Information Officer Tim Kursanikis here on the WTIM Morning Show. Before we went to break, talked a little bit about the generosity of folks who come in looking for generosity and then they become volunteers. And Amy, I know you see this a lot, especially during the summertime. You see a lot of new volunteers. What are you seeing right now at the Taylorville Food Pantry?
Well, as I mentioned during break, I think one of the things that excites me the most, and we certainly have more interest during the summer months, is the kids. We have a group of junior high school kids, and certainly welcome more to that pack. It's not a closed loop system. But they, the kids, they come over, they look forward to volunteering. They usually hit us up, once a week, maybe sometimes twice a week. And what excites me about the fact is that, these kids are going to graduate from high school and they are going to understand a societal issue that faces their community, that faces their country, that faces planet Earth, and that's food insecurity. And the fact that they have already had an experience from a very tender age, and realize that they can be part of a solution. We may not solve world hunger in our lifetime. I can only hope, quite honestly, that one day we're out of business. But in the meantime, it's an important message that our youth, that our young people realize what the problem is, that it is local, and what they can do to help be a part of alleviating some of that trouble for their neighbor.
Tim, regionally, do you experience this similar kind of thing where summertime you see more volunteers?
I would say so, yes.
Yeah.
And we really depend on the help of our volunteers to really carry out our summer feeding programs. So that's we have a lot more deliveries in the summer to carry out to our youth feeding sites, summer camps, and making sure that no child over the summer misses out on a meal, because as I mentioned before the break, with school being out, that's one less meal that kids are receiving during the day, and leaving them and their families to maybe wonder or have to stretch their dollars more to provide an extra meal. So, like Amy mentioned, we couldn't do what we do without the tremendous help and support of our volunteers, and we're so thankful for each and every one of them.
What kind of information do you have available about summer camps? I beg your pardon.
Yeah, Feeding America, actually, our parent organization and the network of 200 food banks that we're a part of, just put out a great resource on their website about summer hunger. So if you head to their website, feedingamerica.org, it gives you all sorts of information about how you can get involved in our fight against summer hunger, and how you can help support food banks and food pantries across the country in that. So,
Amy, any other efforts at this time that you're paying attention to assist food insecurity in Christian County?
Well, just a couple of weeks ago, I actually got contacted by Nakoma Nokomis, Payne, and Taylorville, they have a workforce program, and these are some youth that were coming during the school year to help us out. I actually found out that they've got an internship program of sorts that's going to be kicking off here in a couple of weeks at our local food pantry and continue through the end of July. Pretty excited about that. Some opportunity to, again, educate some kids, some youth on the challenges of food insecurity and enable them to help be a part of the solution here locally. So we welcome them aboard. And certainly, again, I've said it before, I'll say it again. We never turn away a volunteer. So do not let anything stand in your way of popping your head in one of our doors during any of the times we're open and saying, hey, can you use me? Can you use me for 15 minutes? Can you use me for an hour and a half? And I can guarantee you the answer is yes, we can.
Yeah. Tim, what kind of food distributions does the Central Illinois Food Bank have coming to the area in the foreseeable future?
Well, as I mentioned on our previous interviews before, we were really focusing a lot after COVID on those drive-through food distributions. Mm-hmm. We continue to plan those on a weekly and monthly basis, kind of as need warrants throughout our 21 county region. But really right now we're kind of directing people to reach out to their local food pantries if they're in need of assistance. So if you're here in Taylorville, obviously reach out to Amy and the staff at Taylorville Food Pantry. But if you're elsewhere in the region, you can head to our website, centraliowafoodbank.org, and go to the Find Food tab, and that will bring up a list of all the closest partner agencies to you, to where you can go out and get food assistance if you or someone you know is in need of it. So,
Amy, where can people reach out to you or go to the Taylorville Food Pantry? When is it open, etc.?
So we have a website, taylorvillefoodpantry.com. It's updated with our latest hours. But to answer the question, Tuesday mornings, 8:30 to 10 a.m., Thursday evenings, 5:30 to 7 p.m., and Saturday mornings from 8:30 to 9:30 a.m.
That is Taylorville Food Pantry facilitator Amy Hagan, along with Central Illinois Food Bank Public Information Officer Tim Kirstenikas here on the WTIM Morning Show. Thank you both for taking time out of your day to talk about food insecurity.
Thanks, Avery.
Thanks for having us.
Your stream brought to you by People's Bank and Trust, where they put people first, and Landmark of Taylorville, where you always do better with Landmark.
WTIM. The Big 870 WTIM Assumption Taylorville.